Hey, it's Frank, that one web guy, and I'm back with another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make use of a domain name that you purchased and just aren't using. One idea that I had was I bought this domain, doodlevectorart.com. I did it for a training class that I'm doing where I show how to redirect a domain name to, say, an Etsy store. I decided not to use the Etsy store that I bought the domain name, but I still have it for, another few months or even a year. Depends on, if you sit there and let it renew and things of that sort. I have automatic renewals turned on, as you can see on the screen here. And yeah, it renews here in a few months, but, what I'll do is I'll see if I can, make up the cost of the domain name and maybe make it useful. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to redirect this to a hosted template somewhere where I can ask a question. What I'm talking about is I'm using a service here called Yurple. Yurple is actually one of my services that I offer online where I can ask a question, and it's generally an open-ended question. So what I'm meaning is like, what's your single biggest question about, or how do I this? And they actually have to put in a response, not just a yes or a no. So in this case, what I will do is I'll just click here to get started. I'll go to add a new campaign, and I'm just going to do a basic campaign here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a name. I'm going to call it Doodle Vector Art, and this is just for my purposes, so I understand what this is about. And I'll say something like, what is the doodle? Let me rephrase this. What is the vector art image that you are looking for, or you're looking for? Always type words when somebody's watching. And then I'm just going to leave the things as it is. Now, if I was putting this up on a website, I would put in the website URL /things or something like that. But in this case, I'm just doing this quick and easy. Make use of the domain name without spending a whole lot of time and energy on it, or by hosting or anything like that. Instead of submit on the button, I'm going to say, here's the image I want, or here's the image I want. Let's keep it short. And then if I wanted to build a list, which I would, I'll go back and do this later, I could actually connect to my autoresponder service. Yurple allows you to do that. I use ActiveCampaign, and it will allow me to, add a list, and then when somebody submits that question, it builds a list. So then when I add more art, I can email these people that are in that list and say, hey, I've added more art to my store. In this case, I'm just going to leave it blank, and we'll come back and fill that out later. I'm going to click on the Enable Hosted Templates, and I can come through here and pick a template that works for me. Now, there are many of them here. They'll be adding more here shortly. But I like to use some of these that are like on the left. So if I'm using it on a mobile, it'll be all the way over to the left anyway. Of course, they're mobile responsive, so that helps. I'm going to use this one here. Just kind of appeals for me in this situation. And name and email collection, I'm going to say yes. And I'm not going to make it required. I don't want to give them, a reason to not put in that information. And on the logo test, I'm going to put vector art image. So if somebody's Googling for vector art, they may, it'll come help with the search engine optimization for that. So I'm going to click update, and that created that campaign. I can come over here and get the links. I'm going to grab this here and copy, and I'm going to go ahead and see what it looks like here to make sure that it formatted like I wanted it to. And it says, what is the vector art image that you're looking for? They put in their information, and it says, here's the image I want, and it'll go to the thank you page. Now, in this case, if I wanted to, if I was smart about this, I would, let's go back and edit this. The thank you page just says thank you, and that's it. I could actually come in and edit this, and I could send them to your redirect URL. I could actually put the link in to the store that I do have that I sell vector art in. I would have to go back and add that. But that's simple enough to do. I would just go to my Etsy store, grab the store name, and grab that and put it in there, and then update again. So then when they hit submit, it would redirect to that Etsy store, and they can see what images that I have available, and hopefully, maybe they find one they want and buy, which makes the domain worth the whatever amount you're paying for your domain names. I'm currently paying around $10 to $15, and I'm sure yours is probably about the same. So now to add this store, or to add this link to the domain name that we talked about, as I said, I had the Doodle Vector Art. I'm going to grab my Etsy store name, which in this case is, I'm just going to grab this information here, copy it, and I'm going to go to my domain manager page here. So on the domain manager page, we have a page that looks like this. I'm logged into Just Ask Domains. It's a reseller of GoDaddy. That's my reseller account. So I'm going to click on this here. It says Manage Domains, and I'm currently redirecting it to a different Etsy store. I'm going to get rid of that store. I'm just going to use this one. We have, if I scroll down to the forwarding section, is what we want. You can see I have the old store, and this is what I set up for my training. I'm just going to edit, and instead of having the etsy.com / I'm going to change it to the other Etsy store. We don't need all the information before. I'm going to get rid of that because it's obviously handled here. Now you could put HTTPS, which I generally recommend. I've been told by some of the tech people just to leave it as HTTP, and they handle that in the redirect. So then it's going to be a permanent redirect, and it's going to go to this and click Save, and it'll take a few moments. But once that happens, and especially since it's already cached with a previous domain name, it says it could take up to 48 hours or whatever. But now when somebody goes to the Doodle Vector Art URL, it will redirect the doodlevectorart.com. It will redirect to my Etsy store. So in this case, I could put in my campaign, I could come back in here and put in the Doodle Vector Art instead of this URL, so that when they submit their campaign, it would redirect to that domain. Hope that helps. That's just one idea of how to use a domain name that you may not be using, or you just haven't canceled yet. Hope you find that useful, and we'll be back with another video soon.